You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello, welcome back to the podcast. It's so exciting to have you here. I've got a really insightful episode for you today. We're going to be talking all about how you can recover from bad feedback, because let's face it, we're not immune from it. We're going to get bad feedback at some point in our acting career, and it can dent our confidence. It can make us feel not good enough, especially if it's delivered in a way that absolutely does not make it feel like it's constructive. It can sometimes feel like a bit of an attack. Now, if we do let this get to us, it is 1000% going to destroy our performances, and it's going to destroy your career as it did for me. I've got a little story that I want to share with you about how a piece of feedback really got to me and really made me shrink as an actress. Before I do, have you got your place on the upcoming free workshop, Ultimate Confidence, Turbocharge Your Screen Presence and Book More Roles? If you haven't, you need to get in on it, because it's worth £49. It's free for the moment. It's never been run before, and it is going to help you step into your most confident self as an actor. We're going to be going through some amazing method acting exercises that will allow you to always get fully into that character and know you've given your best performance. So the link is underneath the episode. Go and get your place when you've listened to it, so I can coach you further on what we're going to be diving into in today's episode. So let me talk to you about that feedback that I got then. If you've been around listening to the podcast for a while, you'll be aware that when I was at drama school, I got some feedback that really bloody stung. It made me feel ashamed of myself as an actress, which that's a really bad thing if it makes us feel like that. I felt like I wanted the ground to swallow me up when I was giving it, because really it should have been given in private, and it wasn't. It was given in front of the rest of my year, and I just felt stupid, utterly stupid. And I'm not going to lie, it also triggered me to the point where I felt angry inside as well, because I'd been made to feel so crap. And the feedback that I got was this, right? It was these exact words: "That was fucking shit." I mean, who actually gives feedback like that? Well, in this case, this director did. And honestly, it wasn't just the words that he said. It was the way he delivered it. It was the situation, being in front of everybody else and being made to feel like an absolute idiot in front of the rest of them. It was the combination of it all. And also because it was feedback that I got on my scene for our showcase. Obviously, I did not go into that showcase feeling bloody confident. I went into it feeling shit, exactly as he'd told me I was. But it wasn't just my showcase that it affected. I mean, I didn't get an agent from it, didn't get any casting directors interested in me. In all honest, the showcase was a shit show from my perspective, my performance. I'm not talking about the rest of it. It wasn't a good experience. And then going forwards, performances after that also carried around this feeling of me being shit because I'd been told I was. I carried it around like a bad smell, and honestly, it unconsciously affected my performances. It made me play small. I would always question whether what I was doing was good enough. I would question, am I going to get criticised again? Am I going to get told I'm shit again? It absolutely knocked my confidence, which meant I blended in, because my screen presence was practically non-existent. My stage presence was practically non-existent. It was horrendous, actually horrendous. This director did not offer anything constructive. So I had to go away and pick up the pieces many years later when I recognised, actually, I keep thinking about this bloody piece of feedback, and I'm on about years later. So I don't want this happening for you, which is why I'm doing this episode for you. If you get feedback and it is not constructive, like similar to my case, or it's delivered in a very uncompassionate way, the first thing you need to do is ask, is this true? Is this feedback verifiably true? Is there any substance to it? is there anything I can learn from it? Or do I just need to let it go? And that can be hard. That can be really bloody hard to let it go. Now, if somebody was to tell me my performance was fucking shit, I would have no problem letting it go. But it's taken me a long time to get to that. I'm not saying it's an overnight process, because it absolutely isn't. It's taken me a long time, but I could quite easily question whether there's any substance to it, whether there's anything I can learn from it, whether it's true, and whether I actually want to take it on board or not. So I want to give you another example of some rubbish feedback that I got. I was doing Shakespeare in Dubai, one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my acting career. And the producer came up to me and gave me some feedback, which was very personal. It was about my appearance. And at that point, I was just like, am I actually going to take this on board or not? Like, what am I going to do with this feedback? Because it had affected me again. Not as much as the one before, because I was a bit further down the line in my acting career at this point, and I had a bit more confidence. And I thought, you know what? I'm actually going to go to the director and I'm going to share it with him and let him know that this is bothering me. And my director is an actor and director, but an actor who has got an amazing career behind him. He's worked in all sorts of things like Pirates of the Caribbean. He'd done a recurring role on Last of the Summer Wine, which for those of you that are not in the UK, it was what would you call it? A comedy, but it was a TV series anyway, that lasted absolutely decades, or maybe not decades, but years. He'd done loads and loads of TV work behind him on really big dramas that were famous in the UK. So he had experience behind him and he knew what he was talking about. So I respected what he had to say. And he said to me, you've got two choices, Louise. You can either hear it, like really hear it and take it on board, or you can listen to it and let it go over your head, is basically what he said. And that really empowered me in that moment, because I was like, oh, I've got a choice. I've actually got a choice in what I do with this. So now going forwards, I approach all feedback like that. And now I'm confident. I wasn't confident before. And you've got to ask yourself those questions as well, because whenever someone's throwing something at you, that, especially if you've not asked for the feedback, then you've got to be in an empowered position so it doesn't make your confidence wobble and so you can keep moving forwards. Because I know of many actors who've got really terrible feedback and it's debilitated them. They've just dropped out of acting and they know they still want to do it, but they just dibble and dabble and they don't go all in. And that's really, really, really sad. So be empowered. We don't need to be arrogant and we don't need to get defensive back with someone. We just need to come from an empowered place. But then the other thing I want to share with you is that you have got to get more concerned with your craft and learning and developing and evolving as an actor than you are with the feedback, because that feedback is just one minuscule moment in your life. Once it's gone, and it only stays alive, if you keep holding on to it, which I did. We should always be in a state of evolution as an actor. That never ends. You'll carry that through with you, the learning, the evolution, the development, the practicing your craft, the learning more about your craft, the loving your craft, the getting to know more about how you execute your craft as an actor. That will never stop. But that feedback stops as soon as it's come out of that person's mouth. And that's what I focused on. I focused on just getting really concerned with my craft and my development. And my students who train with me in the classes, I encourage them to do exactly the same, because that's where real growth lies. But that feedback, that bad feedback, there's no growth in that. There's only taking steps backwards. And then there's no confidence in that either. And it's really important that you feel confident in your abilities. It's really important that you feel confident in being able to acknowledge feedback, but not take it on internally. So I hope this episode has, got you thinking. I really hope it has. And I hope going forwards, you are going to be an empowered, confident actor. Now, confidence doesn't come overnight. It comes from doing. So as I've already mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we've got a free workshop on the 26th of November. If you know your confidence needs a boost, get yourself a place in it. It's called Ultimate Confidence, Turbocharge Your Screen Presence and Book More Roles. And we're just going to take this further and we're going to dive in and get practical with some practical method acting exercises that are really going to help you feel the best you can about your acting. So the link is underneath the episode. I'll see you in the workshop. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.